Sam Clay from TFMX.DK, HG247. I'm here with...
My name's Tom French. I'm the lead designer of Saboteur.
Saboteur. Tell us about it and run us through it.
So at a high level, or like very simple level, Saboteur is an open world action sandbox game with our hero Sean Devlin here, who's an Irish race car driver turned Saboteur. The player plays kind of the whole origin story of that. It was actually inspired by a real guy that drove for the Bugatti team back in the 30s, who was recruited by the SOE and was reinserted back and became a Saboteur. The only things that really remained from that character, the inspiration, was race car driver, Saboteur, Nazi-occupied France. And so from there, we just kind of went big and over the top with the game. So it's a vengeance story. It's a very personal story. We didn't want to make your traditional World War II game.
Okay, yeah.
So Sean goes into Germany for a race early in the game, and the player plays all this. And then after the race, Sean's best friend is killed by this guy Dirker, who's a rival race car driver and also a Nazi. And so it really just sets Sean off on a vengeance quest in the game.
Okay, so very story-driven are we looking for here?
Yeah, the main bulk of the game is very story-driven. Big, like, epic set-piece missions. Our missions are kind of non-traditional sandbox missions. It's not, you know, go kill 5 guys, blow up this. We do have some of that, but mainly it's like a lot of big, like, kind of storytelling, like level-based design philosophies, pulling the player into an objective, a lot of scripted moments and things like that.
Nicely done. Right, if you can run us through the game, that'd be great.
Yeah. So what we're gonna do here is we've been so focused every time we've been showing the game is really focusing on story. And like right here, like one of our characters here has a story mission for us in the game. But really what we want to do is just show off the pure sandbox nature of the game. So there's things like, in our world, this is a garage behind what we call the Belle de Nuit, which is a cabaret brothel that Sean spends a lot of early spots in the game. So the garages are all about having ways to collect different cars in the game. Being a race car driver, it was important for us to have that. There's a lot of different civilian cars, race cars, military cars and trucks, armored vehicles, tanks, APCs, different upgrades you can get for the vehicles as well. So that's all by just collecting vehicles in the game. But what we're going to do is we're going to head out actually to a weapon shop and actually kind of do more of just the general free play of the game. In this area, what you're seeing here is it's a color area in our game, which we call the high will to fight. There's this idea of high and low will to fight in our game where an area's been inspired, it's in this look, it's colorful, and it's kind of more the fantasy of Paris. It's a little more vibrant and wonderful. But when it's very heavily occupied, I can just cheat up here real quick, and I can show you it's black and white, and it's very Sin City looking, and sell that mood of the occupation in the world and the feeling of the people in the world. So as you fight through the game and the missions in the game, you actually inspire the areas, and that actually has gameplay.
And then the color comes into
it. And with that comes resistance, and people will start fighting alongside of you if you start a firefight in the streets and stuff like that.
Are you looking for a specific art style then? Is something a bit crazy, nothing that's been done before, sort of thing? Or?
Yeah, I mean, we definitely, everything's kind of grounded in a reality, but we looked at a lot of, there's actually some, if our art director's here, he could go on about actually like the French artist that inspired it.
Okay.
I look more towards the cinematic aspects of it, like Sin City really inspired that black and white look, and we knew we wanted to do black and white, but that solved how we could make black and white work.
Yeah, okay.
And then in the color areas, it's more of like Amelie and like a little bit of Indiana Jones in there as well. So what we can do is like, this is kind of a black market area. That's the head of the black market over there.
With beds.
And so, but we're gonna, right now, really want to go, we're gonna go to a shop and actually get some kind of gear. I'm a big fan of machine guns, so I can get this. You can go around taking gear from the Nazis in the game.
I got you.
But a lot of the better gear you can get from here. There's other things that you can get that are, you can only get from actually killing certain types of Nazis, which I can show you as well. Sean being a Saboteur's bread and butter is kind of explosive, so we're going to get some dynamite. We'll stock up on some ammo here. There's also different upgrades for Sean, getting the ability to carry more different types of ammo, but you can also feed that into the resistance as well. You can get the resistance better guns, the guns that Sean has access to. Get them machine guns and carbine rifles, which are much better. So we're going to get that, and we'll get health, so they'll start showing up with leather jackets, so they're actually a little bit better supplied when they fight alongside of you.
So as well as guns and explosives, you're going to be getting abilities as well, and people...
Definitely. There's also this layer of perks in the game, which I'll show you in a minute too, which actually improves a lot more of the abilities. There's also that, so like in our game, there's the main story missions in the game, but there's this huge layer of occupation across the world. It's things like towers and tanks and AA guns and snipers and things like that. You can go fight at any given point that you want. There's literally about 1,300 of these things in the game. And so rather than making the player hunt and peck for all of these things across our 5.5 by 5.5 kilometer map, we sell maps to them. And so you get the first one for free to kind of get you hooked on, addicted to it, and then let you kind of play with it. So we're going to pick up one of those, and what that does is now they'll start showing up as little white dots on your map. So what we can do is our character is the race car drivers of that era were definitely more akin to like extreme sports people of the day. So it allowed us to kind of have a lot more mechanics. So you can literally climb anything that looks like it can be climbed in the game.
A bit of parkour.
Yeah, and that's something that, I mean, parkour is inspired in Paris, and so we wanted that. When we started looking at the rooftops, we're like, we want to do that. That looks awesome. So there's a lot of different ways. There's the free climbing aspect. We also have things like ladders in the world. That's another way to help you kind of move up them a little bit faster than you could. We do some more free climbing. There's also the zip lines which you can use. So there's a lot of different ways to like navigate around the world in the game.
That's very cool. Like looking at it now, his animations of climbing buildings and like the physics in his bag flying around in the queen.
We wanted to keep him. He's not like some of the other games that have a lot of climbing in them. Sean's a little more grounded in it, and like they're a little more superhero-y. Yeah, Sean's a little bit heavier and weightier as he moves around. I still couldn't climb a building that fast, but you know,
I'm sure you could.
I'd hurt myself. So the whole layer of occupation is this, like I was saying, things like towers with snipers and stuff. And Sean's, you know, basic tools is just planting dynamite on him. He's a little bit slow at planting them. Sean's not a trained soldier by nature. He's a race car driver, mechanic. So he's a little slow when he starts off the game. So we'll take out that tower, and that takes that out. It permanently removes it from the game. Okay. It was 1 of 47 in Area 1. Like so one of those dots are gone. To give you an example of how many of these things are in the game, so we can zoom out to the map. That's Area 1. And then there's Area 3 of Paris, Area 2. It goes through the countryside where there's more you can destroy out there. Le Havre at the coast of France, more countryside, and then into a piece of Germany as well.
So we're looking at 100%. You need to go and take all these out.
Yep, to get that full 100%, yeah.
And what were you getting out of doing that?
There's definitely achievements and trophies and stuff like that associated with this. Well, and you'll get, as you blow them up, you get contraband, which is our currency in the game, which you can then take to the black market, get better gear, go out and fight a better fight.
That's very cool. Like we just saw there's a cover system.
Yeah, I'll show you the cover system actually. So one other thing that happened is when I blew it up, it created a suspicion area. If I'm seen in that area, it'll raise the meter and they'll eventually blow a whistle, raise the alarms. So I'll definitely show you the cover system. Our cover system's all dynamic in the game. I don't actually have to hit a button. I just move up to the cover. Make Sean look like the cool action hero we want him to be. And so it's just a dynamic, fluid way to kind of move through the game. In Area 1 of Paris, we definitely put some kind of gimmies in there. So there's things like exploding barrels near some of them.
Exactly. Who would place them there?
Not very practical. They might have
no,
but it helps the player, and they might have had to fuel the the.
Put the petrol next to my house.
Another thing we just did is we unlocked a perk. Sean is very much a defined character, but we wanted the player not through stats like upgrading Sean. We wanted the player to play the way they want to play and reward them for it. So I just blew up a couple towers or installations. So what that did is it improves my planning speed. So now Sean becomes a better saboteur.
Okay.
And so there's a lot of those things. So